some of the movement in this game if they didn't try and go after Machiate to add some speed into this team that feels like it's more on the counter if they're going to get it.
Here's Perez, and a kick saved by Guzan. And Guzan is not happy right now with the defensive work of his team. He's had to make a couple of big saves here over the last couple of minutes.
Exactly what we talked about, though, for Jonathan Perez as he drops down under. Just really good reading of where the pressure was going to come from. Steps himself off, gives himself about a 7-yard buffer to take that first touch and go after Guzan.
Corner number 8 for Nashville. 2 players down, Latte Lott and Surridge. That's the decision here from the referee. Modern football, we get a lot of warnings on corners, don't we? We get a lot of conversations.
I needed that back in the day. Basically walked onto the field, referee said, hold this card for me for later.
80th minute, we'll do it again here. In by Mukhtar.
Oof.
Latte Lott helped the second ball on. Tag Sith. Back to Mukhtar. Perez. Onto his left foot, trying to cut back to his right. Fortune did well to stay in front. Trying to release Latte Lott, who's got pace. Now Almiron. This is a Mosquera. Pardon, and now here's Latte Lott. Lennon right-hand side. Less than 10 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in this one. And Atlanta United, one of the longer spells of possession in the attacking half that they've had in the second half, but Nahar's going to be called for the foul here. Mosquera taken down. All the talk of trying to inject a little positivity and optimism into this Atlanta United side. It all looked good when they were up by a goal, but once they've conceded, you kind of wonder what that reaction is going to be like. So far, it's been mostly Nashville this happened. Here comes the set piece in. Nahar heads away. Schlisch is calling for it. He's got it. Clipping a dangerous ball in, but it's headed away by Nahar, and then a foul is called on Derek Williams. It's going to be a booking here for dissent, too, for Miguel Almiron. Frustration building for the Five Stripes.
36 minutes since the last shot on target, right at the beginning of the second half here, and unfortunately the conversation of recognizing where that next step was going to come from Nashville has filtered its way into the home squad. That's where I felt like maybe they might go to the bench again with 10 minutes to go, just trying to inject some life into this with Jamal Chiate right on cue. With the end, it looks like Matt Edwards will enter into this game. What a great story Matt Edwards is, right? Coming out of college, right, left, center back, really anywhere. After his addition from Carlos Samuano and University of North Carolina. It does feel like if they are to get a go-ahead goal, though, Nate, the decision to subside themselves to sit and break on the counter.
What's up, TFC fans, soccer fans, sports fans from all over the world? How we doing this Saturday afternoon? Our TFC Reds are back at it once again at BMO Field against the New England Revolution, who have won 3 straight, trying to make it 4. against our TFC team, who won their first game since last September a week ago, and then followed it up with a dismal performance in the Canadian Championship. Out again. This is unacceptable, Toronto FC. We've got to do better. This team was at the peak, winning a treble in 2017, and has fallen so far. It is really disappointing as a TFC fan and as a diehard supporter of this club, okay? Come on, let's get with it. Thank you for being here. Anybody in the Toronto area that wants to go to some games, please let me know, because I have some tickets that I'm not using and they don't sell. So if you want them, please let me know and I will get them to you, transfer them over to you. They're great seats. And hopefully TFC will get something done today. Thanks for hanging out with us. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button if you're new. Turn on the bell. We're turning this into a huge TFC fan club. Come on, this team will turn around. We know this. It's going to happen. It has to. Right, MLSE? We'll see you back in the chat.
Or more fun and games. Ideas you can drive or that drive you. From settling in to living it up, what ideas will you bring to life? No more with RBC Wealth Management.
Coop, you're fired.
I need to know how long I could float on what I got.
Alimony, child support, 2 houses, cars. 6 months, tops.
It was just a quick fix to pay some bills.
He's just going through something.
Get out of there!
I was wrong about all the rules. It turns out there are no rules.
Look at you, DraftKings, acting like the ultimate host. Out there hustling for your customers with all these ways to bet on sports. Making sure there's something for everyone. I mean, guys, you got props, same-game parlays, live betting. You guys are in everything. And that's coming from a guy that's in everything. You're the Kevin Hart of sports books.
New DraftKings customers turn a $5 soccer bet into $200 instantly in bonus bets. The crown is yours.
I respect the hustle, DraftKings. Respect the hustle.
Back inside BMO Field here in Toronto, Ontario. 5th home game of the season for the home club, but in search of win number 1 and in search of goal number 2. It's been nearly 7 weeks since Toronto FC scored in their home barn. Tori Penso in control of this one with Catherine Nesbitt and Brooke Mayo, the assistant referees. The blue wristbands in honor of Huntington's Disease Awareness Month, and to further that, the late Terry Vaughn, the MLS referee who suffered from that disease for 237 matches. He was in control. The 2-year anniversary of his passing is tomorrow. Down in Texas, David Barry, the video assistant referee, in control if we go to review. The Revolution are rolling, and Sean Johnson has allowed TFC to come about with some stingy defense. Only 2 goals against in the last 5. His counterpart today, Aliaj Ivicic, has also been fantastic in a contract year and playing like it. The big backstop for the Revolution, who are tied with Vancouver for the best defensive record in Major League Soccer. Theo Corbeanu scored in the midweek in the Canadian Championship. He's got the lone goal in the Toronto FC victory. That was at Real Salt Lake. Leo Campana knows these confines very well. Member of Inter Miami, where he conjured up a goal his last time in this building. These cities know each other from their hockey rivalry, mainly around this time of year, but this is a game of significance entering the month of May for both of these clubs trying to climb up the Eastern Conference standings. Underway here in matchday 11, New England and Toronto FC. Sika and Sam with you.
Oh, this looks promising.
Corbeanu, who's a very tricky 1v1 winger. Early moves And on the crossover for Bernardeschi, but it sails out, and that is where Toronto will try and make hay, Lloyd, with Corbiano on the move. This attack, defense has been better, but the offense at times, it's been like trying to turn around a barge out in the lake. So can they get it going in the right direction today?
I think today for Toronto is about just the home form. You want to get your first win. You've only got 1 goal at home so far. So that's where it starts. A better performance, goals, and hopefully a win for Toronto. New England, they're in great form. Haven't conceded in 3 games, 3 wins in a row. What a glorious time to be a part of the revolution. And they'll look to continue today with that away form.
Even at the start of the season, New England was defending well. It was the attack that was still trying to get up to speed, and you could even say that's still the case, but they found their match winner in Carlos Gil. The formation change has allowed him to make the plays that have made the difference in games. Nixon Gomes inserted in the lineup today for Kevin Long. 3 changes for Toronto FC in their lineup after their 1-0 loss last weekend at home.
It's well done there by Ceballos.
I think we know for sure, Lloyd, the wind is not the havoc that it was last week in the home game against New York City.
Oh, thank God for that.
Campana for Eli Feingold. This U22 signing, the Israeli Youth International, been a really nice addition in the wingback play. Here's the win probability. Toronto FC, slight favorites at home. Hassan Youssef, the battery in the midfield with Matt Polster. Let's hope form the spine of the team's success, along with these new center backs who have blended in well for the Revs. They're wearing their Eastern White Pine, the flag of New England's tree that is fashioned through the years. That's the ode to these uniforms, and then the club kit for Toronto FC, the different shades of red, and their lineups are at the bottom of your screen.
Talked about the dependence on Carlos Gil, and he really needs some help. You know, he's carried the team for most parts of this season, but it's time to see Campana really hit his stride and get into his form. Same with Gonna Go as well.
Carlos Gil with 5 goal contributions in the last 5 games. Gonna Go has a goal. Campana has a goal in that time. Veteran Matt Polster, 10 seasons. First with Chicago, now with New England. That's Feingold. Started the season playing out of position in the left back role. Davy Flores, menacing ball winner, picks off that pass. Ulla Brynhildsen, the Norwegian, knocked over deep in the channel. An auspicious looking free kick for Toronto FC. Brynhildsen's been in and out with some injury, looking for his first goal, draws the foul.
Davy Flores starts it off with a good tackle, winning more duels. And Ceballos, I think Ceballos just has to stand his ground there instead of committing that challenge. Early one to come in, Neil Seeker. What do I say about these? These are scary to defend, especially in the first 5 minutes before you've found your bearings.
Alonso Coelho lays it on the tracks, and Federico Bernardeschi into the makeshift area behind the goal. They'll add seats for the World Cup next year and boost this thing up to around 45,000. The man with 4 goal contributions wears the armband, and they're looking for him to get the attack rolling.
And I like the idea on that free kick. That's actually a really good chance for Federico Bernardeschi. Not a good chance maybe for everybody, but he could do much better there. In the end, it flies over.
The Slovenian Ivicic rockets that into the attack for New England. Still just 7 goals, but they've made them count when they've scored them over the last 3 games, and they've won 4 of their last 5. Alonso Coelho, reintroduction into the starting 11, mainly because they're without Jonathan Osorio. There's still a lot of injuries for Toronto FC, and Robin Fraser's been quick to point out, Lloyd, they haven't had their full team essentially So that's maybe part of the issue with wanting to have that fluidity in the attack. Separated shoulder for Osorio in the Canadian Championship. Should miss a couple of weeks. Heel. On over for Tanner Beeson, who stepped in and done a nice job in this back three. The former Stanford man and former San Jose Earthquake. Hill shuffles along.
I thought Hill was going to hit that diagonal to Peyton Miller. He hit Peyton Miller a lot of times against Charlotte. Looks like a familiar pattern of play that could really emerge with this formation.
Campana wrestling match with Rosted. We look back at Torrey Penso and asked, where's the foul? Toronto has it again. Flores.
That's a great ball.
Corbeanu. A great delivery inside. Bryn Hildson making that near post run. Over to cut it off was Fofana. Campana, he thought he was fouled. Gomes wins it back for Toronto. A few more steps before the foul, and New England has it back. Robin Fraser said this stretch of games, 4 straight at home, and now over the course of the next month and a half, 7 of 8, if we handle it well, our season could look very different. But just the 1 win through 10. However, they've only got 1 loss in their last 5. So the defense has been better. They've shown moments where they look like they may be piecing it together in the attack, but it's still a work in progress, and finding this identity of how they want to play in his first year here back in his old stomping grounds.
Yeah, he's got the defensive side. Looks like he's got that right, but it comes down to that attacking identity. I'm not really sure who Toronto are. Maybe we find out today.
Eddie Longstaff, former Newcastle man, infield for Coelho. Corbeanu. It's the youngster in fine gold, Flores. Lays it on the tracks for Petretta. Shepherded out by Feingold. And for the 2-time MLS Cup winner in Portland and Columbus, Caleb Porter's 2nd season in New England. We're winning games, but we can still be so much better. But he loves the fact that at his core, at his team's cores through the years, he feels the defensive identity is where he has the most strength in maybe assessing his personnel. And once you establish that, then the attack can follow through with the match winners.
Yeah, he talked about people expect him to be more of a, what was it? You get killed by 1,000 passes. The analogy.
Sexy football.
It's more about that, get that organization on that defensive end first.
Ignatius Gallego has gone through a lot, finding his way to Major League Soccer. Passing of his daughter a couple of years ago, a long knee injury. But felt some relief after having his first goal for the Revs, going back a couple of games ago in a win at home against New York City. Bryn Hildson suspecting that he was being held. This has got to be a welcome sign, though, in Toronto training, that there's like a true number 9 up there. They had Derek Etienne, who's out today with a knock in the Salt Lake game, playing in a false 9 role. They've had so many injuries up there. DeAndre Kerr's still out, too.
DeAndre Kerr, I'm looking forward to him coming back with 2 goals so far, but they've tried everybody up there. Insigne's been up there. Etienne, Sharp. You see Bryn Hildson has the 9 on his back. That tells you something. He's likely the starter when everybody's fit.
26-year-old Bryn Hildson played with 2 clubs in Norway and 1 in Denmark. 2 Norwegians in this lineup for Robin Fraser. His good friend Sigurd Rosted, one of the 2 center backs. Sean Johnson, 411 games young in this league. His outstanding career now in season 16, starts it out of the back for TFC. Kosi Thompson. Rosted. Petretta. Aggressive close down from Carlos Heel. Thompson. Spilled it. Campana. Long delay. Feingold got there. Accelerates. And the cross in. It comes back and pumped in. Carlos Heel. Another goal contribution for the All-Star. 6 in his last 6. 1-0 New England.
Well, I said Carlos Hill needs some help in the goals department, but maybe not. Maybe he can do it all himself all season. Eli Feingold, I like how positive this is. This is a fullback playing wingback, and he puts the ball into a great area, and first time. That can't be controlled any better from Carlos Hill. Look at how he jogs off after, but look at how he puts that into the top corner, and very nonchalant with the jog. A bit of swag in there from Carlos Hill, and he deserves that moment. What a finish.
The 4th straight game, New England breaks the ice. All these wins, by the way, their last 3 have been by shutout, and Carlos Heel, where this run really started, at home with their first win against the Red Bulls. He had 2 great goals that game. We were on that call. Lost the next week at Cincinnati, but still constantly his ability to be in these spots that are making the difference. And the pressure, of course, in the midfield to force that turnover, which started the sequence leading to the great goal.
Oh, that was a really difficult goal there. The control has to be right. The way the ball came, it wasn't coming to him with any great pace. He had to put it on there. He executed that perfectly.
Caleb Porter said it's not just this spell of games where Heel, who wants to be the guy all the time, but it's more the guys around him and this system that have allowed other people to come forward, complement his play. That's all they were really looking for. New England had a stretch of games where they won 4 in a row last year and 5 of 6. And they start the brighter of the 2 through the first 15 minutes here this afternoon.
The thing I've loved most about New England's formation, as I said in the open, is the wing-backs. You see Feingold there. A lot of wing-backs might get it and pass it back.
The player spotlight is presented by Allstate. You are in good hands. Davy Flores usually puts the feet right for Toronto in that midfield. Ball winner, aggressive nature. Went back and forth early in his MLS tenure with Vancouver. Coelho wins one out of the midfield for Longstaff. And Bernardeschi have an answer. It's blocked. Tanner Beeson does the job.
It's good football, though, from Toronto. I like this attack.
Corbianu keeps it. He goes again. Corbianu. Clearance by Fofana. Smashed further by Ganago. That was the next part for Robin Fraser. This team, can they control the game more with the ball? We've seen patterns where it's been good, but also one of the questions we asked him this week, what can the fullbacks do to maybe help get you going? And it's their passing, their intricate movement, with Bernardeschi not able to catch up to this one. And we saw in what became the New England goal was a turnover coming off those fullback sides.
Yeah, those wing backs. Eli Feingold, I really like the positivity. A lot of guys just turn back here and give it to the midfielder, but he has a run past Coelho. And this here is outstanding. You got to just enjoy that little jog after it. He knows he's the man right now.
Everyone knows him for his distribution. And since he came in the league in 2019, Carlos Heel, only Christian Espinoza can go toe-to-toe with someone who's provided as many assists. Yeah. He's got the most chances created in that time, but sneaky good goal scorer also. And he's 11 back of Taylor Twellman in Revs history for goal contributions all time now with that goal.
You said if he could assist himself, he would. He actually has. He's been brought down for penalties and got up and took them. Even the free kick he scored, he's assisted himself in a way.
There was heel to heel for a time last year with his brother that when he was on the roster the last 2 years. Former Aston Villa man, Carlos Heel. That was at Deportivo La Coruña in Spain.
Oh, good pocket there.
Gomes. Nice center back who was in the Sheffield United Academy. Lead behind for Longstaff. Flying out Fofana. The veteran of those two center backs, one from Mali, one from Colombia, in the offseason. Corbeanu. Attempting to get past Feingold's. Block that down, and it's last off of a Toronto homegrown player. Feingold is top 5 in the league in blocks in terms of crosses or shots. He's really been impressive in terms of how he works up and down the wing. We haven't even talked about Peyton Miller yet, too, and given him his flowers.
Yeah, to be fair, Peyton Miller is defending against Bernardeschi on that side, and Caleb Porter said it's going to be a little bit more conservative. Wise advice, but I thought Toronto have been knocking the ball around well since they went 1-0 down. They don't look too fazed by it. They haven't dropped their heads at all.
Fofana. Ibicic. Multi-dimensional talents of Campana. He can hold it up. Prefers the service in the box. Now New England defends again. Bernardeschi left adrift on the wing. Another New England takeaway. Flores. Crafty Coelho. Very confident player on the ball, this Alonso Coelho. Alonso Coelho gives way for Petretta. Rosted. This is the wheelhouse of Bernardeschi, but Miller keeps it close eye. Smacks that in. Fofana, another clearance.
Oh, let's go.
Nifty move. He's shooting. Bernardeschi did just like you predicted. It's blocked. It's a corner. Toronto last in the league in corners taken, but you put it at the feet of that man. Normally something good comes out of it. Start for Coelho since the end of March. Delivers a good ball here. Clear off the line, Campana. Longstaff's comeback. Kanago snuffs it out. They had 2 runners at the back post.
Felt like there was more there for Toronto. The ball was coming across the 6 rather than going towards goal, though. It needed another man just loitering around.
This is upwards of near 370 minutes at home without a goal for Toronto FC in league play. And 2 nice goals during the midweek when they went out in the preliminary round to Montreal in the Canadian Championship. But DeAndre Kerr has the lone home goal in that loss to Chicago, which was the home opener on March 15th.
Yeah, the home form. That's what Toronto want to correct. And I like how they've looked the first 20 minutes. They're down to what you would call a screamer. There's not much you can do. Not many people could score that goal Carlos Hill scored.
Bernardeschi. Waited for the late run of Longstaff. Now it's Al-Hassan Yusuf.
It's quite easy. How easy if New England got up to the final third there.
Feingold. In search of Heel on that cross. Polster steps to win. Keep it alive for the Revs. Feingold.
Great ball.
Campana's open. His header back across the grain. Didn't get a lot on it. Sean Johnson over.
There was a nudge from Cozy Thompson there. That just got Campana off it. But let's look at Toronto's earlier chance. Here's the header. Roasted, it looks like, needs another man just in that 6-yard box. Ready to convert.
Ceballos. He keeps an eye on Corbianu. Thought he shook free for the moment. I thought he was fouled. Intent on his side early in the game.
Oh, good football.
This is Peyton Miller, the 17-year-old. Campana. His carving shot off the feet of Gomes.
I like the fact that he wanted to take a shot there, though, Campana. Didn't see him much in the Charlotte game, get too much joy. He's got to get some shots off.
Eddie Longstaff, 16 long months away from the game. That devastating knee injury.
Oh, good step.
Another force of the ball won by New England at midfield. Polster, Feingold. Up again for New England.
Look how many bodies New England just got forward.
They flood the box again. Yusuf, friendly fire, hit it off his own man, Campana. Heel again. Deflection from Flores. Revs trying to pour it into a second goal. They go to the corner.
Revs did really well in the middle there. Matt Polster jumping the ball. And that's how they want to play now. They want to win it back and go quick. Transitional team that presses and counters. That's what Caleb Porter said. We don't need the ball. Caleb Porter of old wouldn't have said that in my mind. That's how I feel. How you feel, Neil? Would you have said that?
Well, this is going to lead me to my trivia question to you for the day. After this corner.
Uh-oh, trivia.
It's in game, buddy. Carlos Heel with a corner. Well, the transitional defending's been really good for New England in this one. Heel with a goal, looking for an assist, cleared away by Corbianu. Which coach, Lloyd, said during this week, can we control games more with the ball?
Both coaches.
Oh, there you go. You were paying attention.
I don't know if Caleb Porter really needs to control it with the ball on the road today. You know, I think he'll be happy with that transitional game. I think in general, though, he wants to be better on the ball, though. For Robin Fraser, he definitely wants to control it more with the ball.
It's a Revs team that's 22nd in possession. Last year, on Porter's first season, they were
what a ball.
Bryn Hildson with a nice move. Bryn Hildson shaves it wide of the far stick. It's a deflection in a corner.
Great ball by Quajo, even better turn. And then Bryn Hildson, after he chops, he's got to get this shot off quickly. Can't get it off quick enough. But he could have maybe shot with his right foot initially. He elects to turn. It's good recovery defending. Tanner Beeson coming over and helping. That gets it over for a corner. That was a good chance, though.
Bernardeschi. One sure to be a dangerous in-swinger. Through the midpoint of the first half. Header up from Beeson. Now Ivicic will claim. Well, not to say it in jest, but Ulla Bryn Hildson, there's a running joke with him and his teammate Sigurd Rosted, who's the all-time leading Norwegian scorer for Toronto FC with his 1 goal earlier this season. This exclusive Netcam replay is brought to you by T-Mobile. It's the clearance off the line. The previous corner, and Leo Campana in position A.
So that's what Rosted's saying to Bryn Hildson. He's a top all-time Norwegian scorer.
But Bryn Hildson laughed. He said he was delighted for him. Now, Bryn Hildsen's missed 4 games. In fact, that home opener, which Kerr scored, he was slated to start and got hurt in the warm-up.
That's right. Bryn Hildson could do with a goal. I talked earlier about when you have that 9 on your back, goals have to follow. And that was a glorious opportunity there. And Campana. That's not smart.
For smacking that away, Torrey Penso, who was on the East Coast last week in charge of New York and Montreal, brings out the yellow.
Oh, those silly yellows have a funny way of coming back and biting you. There was no need for that from Campana, kicking the ball away. Booting the ball away, nearly out of the stadium.
Leo Campana will play on here with Bernardeschi flying up the wing for Toronto. Hassan Youssef, good defending.
Well done.
Heel, Youssef, Miller around pressure.
Oh, he should have played first time to Miller.
Instead, Youssef plays Campana. Leo Campana! Scores again off the shores of Lake Ontario. 2-0 New England. Devastating in transition here in the first half.
Leo Campana really needed a goal today just to continue that form. And Youssef just puts it right in his stride. And there's Campana. This is where he wants to be. The number 9 on his right foot. That is a glorious finish on the run. 2 men behind him. Weaker foot as well. Don't forget that. This is not an easy finish on the run. Getting it back across goal under the keeper into the side netting. 2-0 New England. Devastating on the counter.
Leo Campana scored a stoppage time winner for Inter Miami last October 5th against Toronto FC. He scored in back-to-back games now at BMO, and more importantly, bolstered the lead for New England. And while the finish was fantastic, Hassan Youssef, who made the play defensively, and then the interplay sequence of passing to lead the breakout all the way from his own penalty area.
It happened so quickly. Oh gosh, there was some good play even in that build-up before that little ricochet which went to Youssef. And that's why Toronto players were out of position. Davy Flores had followed Carlos Hill.
Well, a bump in the road for Toronto FC has become something as tall as the CN Tower. They've only gotten 1 game with multi-goals in the league this year. That was in a 4-2 loss in what was a well-decided affair early on the road in Orlando. And for all the talk about the attack and making baby steps, and there have been good patterns today and some play that has generated some positive looks, but yet have fallen behind by a pair at home. A Revs team that looks to keep it rolling.
Yeah, Toronto have to keep their heads. They're not playing bad, but it's just devastating attacks that New England have had, and really good finishing. Got to keep their heads. I see a little bit of frustration out there, understandably. Got a lot of football to play.
Well, conversely, that was one of the things that worried Caleb Porter. Now we're the team playing well. This happens all the time in MLS, Lloyd. You see one team down, one team high, and then one moment can change the course of a game. Caleb Porter saying, we don't want to be the team that's complacent in a game like this because we know Toronto FC is so desperate.
Yeah.
Coelho. Pass falls flat for Bernardeschi. Here comes transition once more for New England. Flying down the Gardner Expressway here in this first half. Feingold. Gotta go. Incising pass for the late arriving Miller. Rosted fell. And Sean Johnson
looks
sent
dangerous
everyone
out
back
there.
to safe harbor.
Looks dangerous out there on the counter. Every time New England are going, Toronto get expansive. A lot of teams have this recipe now to just counter quickly when the other team gets expansive, and it still will take you by surprise, even though you know it's coming, how quick they counter.
Gomes. Bernardeschi. Little brush of contact with Polster and Feingold.
Bernardeschi's got to keep his head. I see the frustration in his body language a little bit. He worked so hard for it, and he's not been on the winning side enough in his mind. I understand it. Well, he got to keep being that example. I feel like I say this every time for Toronto.
And Fraser complimenting Bernardeschi's intensity and desire each and every game to win, but maybe a little bit of that sulking moment with everything down in a 2-0 hole at the moment. The player comparison is presented by Celsius, pure passion and maximum energy with zero sugar. The touches were a few of the center backs in today's game, and Rosted and Beeson. Oh, good ball. Ignatius gotta go. Gotta go. Slapped down by Johnson. A double save. Heel was there, looking for the brace. New England attempting to pour it on just past the half hour. Sean Johnson, who made 6 immense saves in their 1 win against Salt Lake, at it again.
And look at this second save. The first one more routine, and then he gets up. It's just the right hand up. Could have been a second goal for Carlos Hill. Sean Johnson keeps him out.
Fofana. Al-Hassan Yusuf has really started to mesh well in this league. Cut his teeth in Sweden. The Nigerian earns a corner here. Here's another look at the double save.
Yeah, the first one makes a little bit of a meal of it, I'd say. Sean Johnson hit this one, but then the second one just gets the right arm out and bats that away. I would say Carlos Hill could maybe finish that better, actually. He's a little bit too close.
Hill with 1 2-goal game this season. That was the victory over the Red Bulls. Started this surge up the table in the East for New England. Short corner. Spaniard delivers. Oh, a smash hit over the top of the stanchion. Lloyd Sam didn't know that Fofana had that in his arsenal.
I did not know he had that in his arsenal, and I thought that went in the top corner for a second. Wow.
Quickly out, Toronto FC. Ceballos with Flores stepping on the gas. Reds fans waiting patiently for something to turn in their direction. Sunday Night Soccer heads to Children's Mercy Park tomorrow night for a matchup. 2 of MLS's most storied franchises, the Originals and Sporting Kansas City. They're hosting the defending champions. The LA Galaxy still looking for that first win. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. MLS Countdown right here on Season Pass. Under Kerry Zavagnin, Kansas City is 2-2. Just the crevices in the middle after that initial pass off the wing.
Good football again.
New England moving up the field. Toronto player down right in the middle.
Campana needs to be careful. There's something off the ball there, and he's on a yellow card, as we said.
Federico Bernardeschi was pointing that to the attention of Tori Penso. Campana, he wanted to provide some aid for Sigurd Rosted. Andy Longstaff with a quick wardrobe change. And Rosted, we're being told they're checking a possible red card for Leo Campana. A further look.
And let's have a look. Campana in the middle of your screen. Oh, yeah, there's an arm out there as they're running.
And he's looking right at him. David Barry, the VAR down in Arlington, Texas, in the ear of Tori Penso.
And you see why that yellow card earlier was ill-advised. because if you're checking for a red on something, it's very likely it could be a yellow if it was seen. But I don't think that was seen in the run of play. So not quite a red, but that could have been a yellow. And I would suggest Campana changes his whole mindset now about how he's going to finish this game.
His backup, Maxi Urruti, who had a brief TFC tenure to start his MLS days. Flores late arriving. 10 minutes till halftime. Coelho.
Unlucky.
Nifty attempt. Beeson. And Polster over, and Polster could not hold. Out over the byline, a corner for Toronto. And they've shown some danger on these restarts.
The last one was dangerous. That went across the 6. You want to stand someone near the keeper just to kind of get those little bits and pieces.
Decent crowd here today at BMO, but they've been sitting on their hands for the majority of this one, waiting for something to cheer about. Coelho wants to conjure up something. Campana heads out. Thumped back in by the Spaniard. Headed down by Rosted, right at Ivicic. These are the team benches built by the Home Depot. Robin Fraser. That's Maxime Dominguez. They added him late, right before the end of the window. The central midfielder, Swiss playmaker. But still no Kerr, still no Richie Larea. Lorenzo Insigne on the bench.
And Caleb Porter talked about how well the subs have been doing when they're coming on, understanding the competition for places. So expect to see a few of those guys come on for New England.
There's a brief glimpse of Urruti. Flores, another interception. Coelho roams to the interior. Still come in. Corbianu switch sides of the field. Polster. No trouble to head that off to the sideline. Gomes. Real simple thing to say, Lloyd, about the way back into this game for Toronto. That even if you continue some of these encouraging patterns in the attack, you've created chances.
Yeah, even when they're creating, there's still the threat of a counter from New England. You know, they have to get really expansive and go for it. They've created some decent chances. Bryn Hilton, that was the best chance.
Bryn Hilton, some help over Ceballos and Fofana.
A lot of physical play up there with both of the strikers on both sides.
These 7 goals allowed by New England. It's their best defensive start through the first 9 games of a season in 20 years. The 2005 team. Caleb Porter reminiscing about some of the great defensive teams he's had. 2015, Portland won MLS Cup. They became a great defensive team. Columbus in 2020. But there were some known commodities amongst that back line. You've got 2 young players in the wingback roles, 2 new center backs new to the league, which is a little bit of a surprise how quickly they've adapted well. Feingold. Gotta go. Feingold. Peyton Miller. And in the back of Kosi Thompson, 2 homegrown players there for their respective clubs. Miller slow to get up. But now has returned to his feet. Now Polster. A reload for the Revs.
An interesting battle out there. David Flores is trying to get close to Carlos Hill. But Carlos Hill looks like he knows the motive of Flores every time, and he's popping it off really quickly. Happened on the Campana goal in the build-up.
New England has cashed in twice. Brilliantly on the move after Toronto miscues. Campana and Heel have the goals. Feingold. Continuing on. Conaco. look to spear it back for his run.
Look how high those wing backs are for New England. You can't see it right now. It's on Carlos Hill, but they're very high. And I would encourage Toronto to go quickly when it breaks down before Miller and Feingold can get back. Well, you don't really get your advantage. You know, in this wing back system, you want to catch them out.
Corbianu. Interception from Beeson. Heel for Campana. Suin Gomes. Lead out Thompson, Flores.
That space.
Decisive pass for Coelho.
Bernadeschi has to stop his run and receive the ball there. You can't just keep running. He needed a pass. And I do like Bernadeschi better on that right side. I'm seeing him on this left side a bit too much. And what do you really expect him to do on this left side? He's not going to come in and beat a player and get a shot off. So you're taking away your biggest strength.
And they were doing that, I'm guessing, because Miller was doing so well defensively out on the right, or on his right side. Maybe trying to get the matchup and see something different against Feingold. Is that what the thought process is?
Feingold has been getting really high, so maybe that's the thought, but Bernadeschi is not a left winger. He's a right winger at this point. Plays his best football on that side.
His all-star form last year came in the wing-back role on the right for then John Herdman in the head coaching role. Toronto FC, they missed out on the playoffs. Last time they made it, 2020. Last time they also won the Canadian Championship, which was a carryover to 2021. So they've been waiting for some ratcheted up success for a while. They're in a place that was known for it from 2016 to 19. Brent Hilton, another TFC giveaway. Heel with some determination. Around Longstaff. Miller.
It's got to be a better ball from Peyton Miller there. He's not been in the attack as much as he usually is. But that was a good opportunity.
There's two options.
He's got another chance now.
How about the defending from Heel? Miller, gonna go. Rosted blocked it. Carlos Heel. New England in search of the third. Gotta go.
Good tackle.
Rosted nicks it away. Corbianu, Youssef. Got in very deliberate on that challenge on the former TFC homegrown. Drifted across Europe. Neil Corbianu, Neil Campana, they were at Wolverhampton at the same time, but much of their time there on loan to other clubs. Inside of 90 seconds left in the opening 45. Corbianu. And a header from Petretta. Had to wait on the arrival. Nudged it wide all the way. German-born. He's represented Italy internationally.
It's good wing play from Corbianu, getting to the byline and dinking it up. And I thought this was a big chance here. Why has Petretta not gone with more conviction to head this ball? He's just glanced it, but this looks like a good chance. If we see the header, but yeah, want to see a bit more conviction on that.
Not enough conviction, but a lot more questions for Toronto FC with this first half coming to a close. Second of 4 straight here at home. Corbianu. Miller defending. Over for Bernardeschi. Just hammers it off Feingold. Youssef for Heel.
Counter.
Big gap in the middle. Youssef's pass. Kosi Thompson gets the footwork right. Added time is presented by Audi. We get 3 minutes here in the first half. Bernardeschi. Further working himself out wide to the right. Joining along with Corbianu. Longstaff. Now comes inside to that left foot. Bernadeschi with Fofana putting out routine ball. Heel over. Numbers for New England. If they hurry, a 4v3. Gotta go! Kick save, Johnson.
That would have been game over right there and then. And these counterattacks have been devastating by New England.
Gappy and exposed Toronto FC when New England's motored in the direction of their goal. It's cost him 2. Could have been at least 2 more. Toronto, they've had a few moments. There's another incising pass. Bernadeschi ripped away for Fofana. Here comes New England once more. An attempt to put the game to bed before the half, but it's held up for the moment. Heel, Feingold. Team brimming with confidence. Heel.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Draws 2, Feingold. Another nifty move, Feingold. Gotta go! Johnson! A career highlight reel with some of these saves in the first half alone for the wily veteran who's keeping Toronto FC in the game.
So much good play here. Starts with Carlos Hill on this right side. Great touches. And then always has an eye for the ball. And then Feingold takes the baton. And look at this skill. Little fake and goes to the byline, cuts it back. Brilliant goal this is about to be. And what a save from Sean Johnson. Wow. Gets up with that right hand. That would have been a great, great goal right there.
Short corner. Carlos Heel finds a crevice. Oh, right off Rosted, his shot. Who's stunned by it. He's still down.
They got to check on him. It's about to be halftime.
Remember earlier he took a little smack to the face from Leo Campana. The Bluebirds are out at BMO. Toronto, the home club, down by a pair of goals. Ruthless transitions for New England. The Revs lead on the road in search of a 4th straight win.
And that's what it's meant to look like for New England in transition. Wow, devastating. What a brilliant performance in that first half. Toronto need to come out and really think about how they're going to attack and score some goals in the second half.
And their headline names have the goals. Heel and Campana. 2-0 New England at the half.
In as fast as an hour with express delivery. Welcome to your Walmart.
You gotta look it up sometime.
Let me see.
Or no, not on.
Did you search cool outfits to wear with shark tooth necklace?
Yeah.
Goldfish have short memories. Be like goldfish.
Brother, it's a statement piece.
Hey, play for an ultra?
We're playing for ultras. Brace you for an ultra?
Put an ultra on it. Don't forget, there's ultras on the line. I didn't.
Michelob Ultra, superior like beer.
Next up, let's go. To the line, Trinity. Nice, nice.
Let's go, sis, let's go. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Almost looking as fast as Big Bro.
No, I got you any day, bro.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. How you feeling?
You see that trend spin out there?
You look like you need a sub. Remember to stay warm, though.
I'm gassed, but I'm ready.
Be ready, all right? All right, go on, get out there, get out there. Go, 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 let's go. Come on.
this year's championship game. This is the big one.
With Amex Gold, you can score 4 times points on restaurants around the world. So you can raise the bar on game night. That's the powerful backing of American Express.
Welcome to the Audi halftime report. And some stoic faces right now amongst the TFC faithful watching their team in a familiar position. Unfortunately, if you're a Toronto fan here at home so far in 2025, they trail 2-0 to New England. Sika and Sam and our crew from BMO Field. May underway, a Saturday matinee between these two clubs, and the New England transition stole the show in the first half.
And these wing backs, let's start with Feingold, really positive, pushing it past Cuejo here and then getting a ball in, and then this is just brilliance from Carlos Hill yet again. He's playing at a really, really high level. This is not an easy finish at all. Like the little celebration as well, that made it 1-0. Toronto would have chances here and there. And here's one from a corner, headed back across by Rosted. It needs someone in the middle of that 6-yard box to convert. Well, someone is there, Bryn Hilson. It went past him, he just weren't in the right spot. And Bryn Hilson would get a chance here. I think he has to at least get a shot off here, either right-footed or once you turn, you need to get that off really quickly. Tanner Beeson does well to help out Fofana there and get the block in. New England in transition have been devastating. And here they go again. Yusuf plays the perfect ball for Campana. And he has the perfect finish into that bottom corner. That is a really good finish there. Transitional moment yet again. New England have looked menacing. And there's Campana punishing, making it 2-0 in the first half. Sean Johnson's had some really good saves. This second one here off Carlos Hill does well to get that right hand to it and get it away from danger. A lot of New England chances in this half. Time for one more New England chance. This was really good football. Carlos Hill on that right side, passing it at the right time. Feingold showing his attacking intent there. Bit of skill. And then Garnacho. Could have been 3-0 in the first half. What a brilliant first half for New England.
Game could be done and dusted if not for Sean Johnson's heroics late on. Here are your halftime statistics. Expected goals for New England just under 1. 4 shots on target with less of the ball. And those Toronto turnovers have turned into New England scoring opportunities. Who haven't won 3 in a row on the road in 4 years, but they're 45 minutes away from that. Kiel, another one.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
And they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these today.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
my vibe.
Welcome back to the Audi halftime reports. Now the calendar says spring, only 7 degrees Celsius, 45 if you prefer Fahrenheit at kickoff today, and a chill before the weather fully breaks up in the Great Lakes. Match day 11. Atlanta is now winless in 5. They had a lead in that game off a goal from Miguel Almiron, but Daniel Lovitz equalizing in the second half for Nashville, who picked up points in 3 of their last 4 games. And later tonight, with Vancouver advancing to the Champions Cup final, just a rousing performance in the semis against Miami. They're at home against Real Salt Lake. LAFC welcomes in Houston. Sunday night soccer tomorrow, Kansas City and LA. The top performance is presented by Audi. In the thick of this game on both ends, Leo Campana, a clearance off the line on the Toronto corner, preserving the lead at the time. And then moments later in transition, Al-Hassan Yusuf, and the Ecuadorian striker who's got his sights set on playing in the World Cup next year with Ecuador, buries his second of the season. This is Major League Performance. This is Audi, official automotive partner of Major League Soccer, and where New England has attacked in this game today. Look at that right side with Feingold and Heel coming over for combinations.
Should I say anything now if you've just done the analysis as well? Yeah, no, Feingold on that right side.
I think I did, yes.
Caleb Porter did tell us Feingold is going to be going forward. Peyton Miller is going to be staying back. So that actually makes a lot of sense when we see that at the end. Any more analysis from Mr. Sink? You got any more?
You briefed everybody on that.
What else have you leaving me anything to say here?
We're going to see what the second half has in store. Campana's got his second goal. New England up 2 on the road in Toronto. Second half's next.
We about to level up. Got high speed, that supersonic I never see. Got the pins in the back, all eyes on me. I'm too fast, got high speed, that supersonic I never see. Got the pins in the back, all eyes on me. We about to level up.
This is the new Star of the Seas. Book your vacation today.
Refresh your energy.
What's up, TFC fans, soccer fans, sports fans from all over the world? How we doing this Saturday afternoon? Our TFC Reds are back at it once again at BMO Field against the New England Revolution, who have won 3 straight, trying to make it 4, against our TFC team, who won their first game since last September, a week ago, and then followed it up with a dismal performance in the Canadian Championship. Out again. This is unacceptable, Toronto FC. We've got to do better. This team was at the peak, winning a treble in 2017, and has fallen so far. It is really disappointing as a TFC fan and as a diehard supporter of this club, okay? Come on, let's get with it. Thank you for being here. Anybody in the Toronto area that wants to go to some games, please let me know, because I have some tickets that I'm not using and they don't sell. So if you want them, please let me know and I will get them to you, transfer them over to you. They're great seats, and hopefully TFC will get something done today. Thanks for hanging out with us. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button if you're new. Turn on the bell. We're turning this into a huge TFC fan club. Come on, this team will turn around. We know this. It's going to happen. It has to, right, MLSE? We'll see you back in the chat.
Welcome back to Toronto, Ontario. This broadcast of MLS on Apple TV is presented by T-Mobile. Glide on in the beautiful skyline of the 6, as they call it up here. CN Tower, Rogers Center, and BMO Field, which will host games for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The home club with work to do. 2-0 New England heading into the second half. The Supporter Cam is brought to you by Lowe's. Visit Lowe's for the ultimate assist on your next project. Down on the south end, the supporters, well, they're looking for something to smile about. But time in and time out, they turn out for this Toronto FC team in search of the good old days, 2016 to 19. Maybe a gleam of that with the hiring of Robin Fraser, who was a part of Greg Vanny's staff. But there's a lot of work to do, and this season is slowly going in the wrong direction. They've got 45 minutes to turn around this home affair, where Heel and Campana have found the goals for New England. We've run roughshod over the mistakes that Toronto's made in possession. Lazar Stefanovic from Clearwater, Florida. And the Toronto homegrown player, moved to Canada at a young age and grew up in Oakville, will come on for his 3rd appearance here at halftime. Maybe the laundry list of injuries, though, for this team. Still without Jonathan Osorio and Richie Larea. Derek Etienne took a knock in the midweek. Lorenzo Insigne on the bench. But a fantastic goal against the Revs in their home opener last season. Will that be a factor late on? We'll find out. Second half underway. Sika and Sam and Sika, our wonderful crew up here in Canada.
Well, no number 9 anymore on the pitch. Bernadeschi's the number 9 now. It's been a revolving door. There's not going to be any rhythm when you're playing like that and not knowing what you're going to get from that guy. I wonder how Bernadeschi plays 9 now. You know, it's going to be a bit different.
Tyrese Spicer is also on. He scored one of the 2 goals on Wednesday in the Canadian Championship. They go off to Peyton Miller, who rockets that into the temporary stands behind Sean Johnson, who stood tall late in that second half. Second youngest signing in Revs history behind Diego Fagundes. Peyton Miller.
He set that up well, Peyton Miller, actually. The finish wasn't the best on his weaker foot.
Leo Campana, we were talking with the Revolution forward earlier in the week. He gave him the ultimate compliment, Peyton Miller, and said he's got that potential to be a player on a European club and one that can have an impact down the road.
Oh, yeah, top 5 leagues, top club in one of those, I would say, from how he's playing.
They snuff out another Toronto possession, but the flag does come up for offside.
And don't let that go over your head, what I said there about Peyton Miller. Top 5 league and a top club in one of those leagues. That's how good he is at 17. We haven't seen this sort of ability at 17. Well, Lamine Yamal comes to mind.
He's just okay. Leading pass for Carlos Heel. Revs show some pressure. New England's perspective brought up the complacency. You're feeling that in the first half, but now that they've got the lead, how do they make sure they protect it and see this thing out?
I think you have to understand that Toronto is going to come with a response at home first and foremost, and that means no mistakes, nothing silly. You might have to play a little bit safer and really force Toronto to earn their goals.
Miller, Campana pinging it over the top for the left back, who grew up in Connecticut. Conago was also there, mixing around. Win probability, what it was at kickoff. And the big disparity now.
The big question is, how do Toronto come back into it? And I was hoping you weren't going to ask me, because they have struggled to score goals all season, just one at home. And I'm meant to have their answer. You know, at first you get Bernadeschi not in the left wing position, either right wing. I would prefer him, but he's playing in the striker spot. We just got to watch for 10 minutes and just see what the shape of the team looks like first, and then come back to it.
Bernadeschi keeps on trucking. Federico Bernadeschi. Theo Corbianu. Waiting on it, Coelho. Smacked it through the traffic. Ivicic moves to his right. That's better for Toronto.
An attack for Toronto. Corbiano's done well to get a lot of balls back in the box. It's not the greatest attack, but a good sign. But when you're getting down the line and crossing it, I don't know whether to expect to see a number 9 in there now, because Bernardeschi will likely be floating somewhere.
Kosi Thompson.
Oh, good speed.
His clearance leads to Corbiano. Stride for stride. Maybe the underrated play of...
You gotta hate when that happens.
Tanner Beeson right there with Corbiano.
That's not the first time that's happened this game for Corbiano, where you've crossed it, it comes and hits back off you and goes for a goal kick.
Carlos Seal sucks in 3 players. His countryman Coelho all around him.
Well, that might be a message in the changing room about Carlos Hills. Can anybody stop him? Davy Flores has tried his hardest, to be fair to him. He's put in a lot of effort.
Yusuf. Oh, the acreage that he's had to run when he's broken out of the midfield. Campana. Slippery heel. Some tricks, but not around Spicer in the end. That'll turn back, and Sean Johnson stood on his head late in that first half. And Toronto FC, they continue this 4-match homestand. DC United, another team in search of some points near the bottom of the East. They come in. It's another 4:30 East kick. Still got a couple of more weeks before Toronto can play a true night game, just because of the weather. We were here 7 weeks ago, Lloyd. The weather really hasn't changed all that much.
It hasn't.
Of course, we got a little bit of the midges flying into our booth.
What's that mean?
Those pesky little bugs that you've seen maybe on your collar, your sharp-dressed apparel today.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Neil.
Polster. Leo Campana.
There's always an option for New England, the way they're passing and moving.
Their network of passing has been really good. Coelho. Raul Petretta. Bernardeschi. Crowded out for the moment. Sets the footing again for Spicer. Swipes right. Corbiano.
Now you need bodies in the box.
Goes at Miller. Header from Ceballos. Now Flores. Sprayed past Longstaff. Patience in possession. Bernardeschi rips it low. It's a block by Fofana.
A bit of pressure will feel good for Toronto, but Corbiano gets to the byline again and dinks one in. He's crossed a lot of balls in. Well, that's a good ball. No one's in the box again.
Sprint for Spicer. Bernardeschi stumbles over it. He was open, perhaps thinking about what was going to be the next move. Carlos Heel. Coelho man for man. Al Hassan Yusuf. Circling back for a reset. This is the next phase for New England, too. They can get out, they can defend, but they've got plenty of pieces who are very comfortable on the ball.
Yeah, well said. This is actually the next phase that Caleb Port wants to see. Knocking it around and controlling it on the ball.
Stefanovic stymies Campana.
I would imagine they're going to have to weather the storm at times in the second half. I would imagine if Toronto come out and really push for a way back in this game. It's just not a balanced formation with Bernardeschi at the 9.
Toronto, they've had good performances here without wins. They shut out Vancouver, kept Minnesota scoreless. They were right in that game last week against New York City before the penalty. They just couldn't find the fruits of their labor offensively. They've given up 12 goals in their first 5 games.
You wear that shirt right there, that pink one with the LVs on it.
Does that say Supreme on it?
It doesn't say Seeker.
I'm stocking it
Would
in
you
my
wear
closet. If the mood should strike. Raul Petretta. Spicer doesn't like the options. Coelho. Kosi Thompson. Bernardeschi. Just 3 layers of New England defense to go through there. Stefanovic, Gomes.
See, if I was to play Bernardeschi up top, then I'm going to play a 10 in the 3 in midfield. That's going to make the box. You know, running into the box constantly. I'm not sure how you're going to score if he's not in there. But you already know he's not going to be in there. So what is the plan B for who's going to be in the box? Oh, he's going to be in there now.
He's making a run to come on to this. Off the outside of his foot for Coelho. Clean and swift again for the Revs, who move right back upfield. Alassane Youssef.
So the 3 in midfield, the Flores, Longstaff, and Coelho. It's all similar midfielders, midfield workers that can pass it a bit. But you need an attacking presence. Maybe Dominguez has to come on off the bench, a little bit more attacking.
And it's one thing if you work on it maybe a day or 2 in training if you're playing with a false 9, but the trickle-down effect, Lloyd, when you don't have a guy who's the out-and-out tip of the spear, if you will, kind of go. How does that work around the rest of your attacking personnel? Does that cause some confusion there too?
Well, if I'm a winger, am I going to want to do what I'm best at, which might be getting to the byline and crossing it? Because Bernardeschi's not that guy, but he might prove me wrong in this same game.
All he needs is one moment, just like a Carlos Heel, Federico Bernardeschi.
I would rather Bernardeschi on the right and Corbianu as the 9, maybe. If there's a bit more size in there, you could cross the ball up to him. Robin Fraser's has been reluctant to use Corbianu as the 9.
We'll see things take a bit of another turn for Toronto FC. They're ready to make a sub. Lorenzo Insigne has moved to the technical area.
I should have mentioned Insigne, actually. Who did I mention on the bench? I said Dominguez. Insigne should have been the first one that comes to mind.
Campana with his head up. Longstaff and Coelho pinch in on the New England center forward.
But has to be the real Insigne, the one that played last year. This year, he's gone through a lot, to be fair to him. I know he's making big money, but he's gone through a lot. They wanted him out, and then they put him in the team. It's not really the recipe for success in the mindset of a player.
Matty Longstaff is coming off. 3rd change for Robin Fraser. The 2 of those were made at the half, so this is the first official window. And the other Italian, Lorenzo Insigne, the $15 million a year man, who was in isolation the first few weeks of the season, then started playing. And the team's success, or at least a little bit more positivity in terms of the results, have shaped over the last 5 weeks or so. But for that type of number, there's so much more expected, and it just hasn't been there. But maybe playing the Revs, sensationally goal he had last year in week 2, conjures up with his return to the field right now. Remember that?
I do remember. That was in mind when I said the real Insigne action.
They go to Spicer. #1 pick in the draft 2 years ago. Bernardeschi. Plummets into 3. Torrey Penso felt it was good defending, and Bernardeschi went down a little easy.
Yeah, and Bernardeschi's not happy, but you're never going to get a penalty for that. There's a lot of bodies around you. You're not going to get a penalty for that.
Holster was defending. Now he's spearing forward. Here's the underrated aspect of all of this for New England in their formation. It's those two central midfielders, Yusuf and Polster, and how good they have been. Caleb Porter said, I don't even have to tell him anything. Just go out and do your thing. Yeah, to an extent. Spicer. Oh. Good moves here around Ceballos. Fofana's got his back, but it falls right to Insigne. Coelho and Bernardeschi. And things are held up here after something was beginning to build for Toronto. Let off of Torrey Penso, so it restarts with a drop ball. Fans were crescendoing into the excitement. Coelho, Trenta, Bernardeschi, who's moved back wide, but it's out on the left for now.
Yep, the wrong wide for Bernardeschi, and here comes counter.
Seam connecting passes, Yusuf to Carlos Heel. Peyton Miller joins the party. Good hustle by Kosi Thompson.
See, this is where Toronto have to go quick. Peyton Miller and Feingold are high in the play. That means there's just three back. They've allowed the wing-backs to get back in, and now it's a strong unit you have to break down. If they could counter quickly, it would make life a lot more difficult, a lot more easier, I should say.
But this is a methodical build for Toronto.
It's too slow. Too slow when you have a team with wingbacks. Wingbacks have to do a lot. You want to really catch them, but you want to catch them out.
Insigne. One-time star at Napoli. Davy Flores, Bernardeschi. Raul Petretta. Pedestrian pace with this buildup. Tough to scan through the New England defense. And this is where Caleb Porter said, look, even when we don't have control of the game at times, we can play in this block, and then we're really tough to break down.
There's a lot of bodies in the middle. You think of a back three and then three in the midfield in front of that, and then you've got your two strikers back almost in your own third.
This is where the issue has been for Toronto. Little waves of the attacks, but moments where they may have some suspended play on the ball, and it ends empty. The matchday schedule is presented by AT&T. Winless in 5 for Atlanta. Another home game where they drop points. Lovett's header in the second half gets things even. Charlotte, off their first home loss of the season, heads to Columbus.
Great ball that is.
Portland looking to continue on that unbeaten run in the Bay Area. It's later tonight. And it's Peyton Miller for Al-Hassan Yusuf. Fofana. Time for him in France. Now Ceballos. New England brass feeling the young Ceballos. He's going to be a good one. The center back goes stride for stride with anyone in the league in a foot race.
Speaking of foot race.
Incising run Miller. It's a good one. Campana, a rocket. Well wide. Nixu and Gomes is down for Toronto FC. Kosi Thompson, Torrey Penso immediately waving on the Toronto training staff. Gomes in a lot of pain.
And there was no one around him when it happened. Those are the ones you're even more concerned about. Campana very wasteful on this chance, but watch Gomes. Oh, no one is around him. Do not like the look of that.
Non-contact injury. Gomes got the start today. Kevin Long, the 34-year-old center back, the Irishman, ton of minutes. Someone who knows a little bit about defending. Of course, the two-time Defender of the Year in Robin Fraser is probably thinking not another injury. And no one said it's supposed to be a hummingbird team was projected to be, but the fact that they haven't had their full outfit for the majority of the season.
Kevin Long, though,
made things difficult.
There was a center-back substitute at halftime, and Kevin Long didn't come on.
That's right. Sigurd Rosted was off for Stefanovic.
You've got to think Kevin Long struggling. Well, Kobe Franklin's getting stripped, so it must be that Kevin Long is not right on that bench.
Deductive reasoning, and they'll bring on Franklin, the homegrown, who did score in the PK shootout, which was a 3-2 loss to Montreal on Wednesday in the Champions Cup. Franklin. Get ready for more match day action later tonight. MLS Countdown comes your way at 6:30 Eastern. Kalen Kyle and the crew will get you set for all the night's action. Match day 11, season 30 of Major League Soccer, turning the calendar to May. Just a few weeks away from midweek matches starting up. Heading into what would be the middle of June in the Club World Cup and Gold Cup breaks.
It's tough scenes to watch right now for Gomes.
You feel for Nixon Gomes. He was born in Senegal, grew up in France, the 23-year-old center back who had a series of loans despite being part of Sheffield United, playing in the lower divisions of both England and Belgium. And no pressure at all on that left foot, that left leg. And Kobe Franklin, the 21-year-old, grew up in East York, not far from here.
Well, Franklin comes on at right back, and Cozy Thompson goes to centre back. And Stefanovic is the other centre back. It's a very makeshift at the back for Toronto. It just feels like this is their story of their season. There's just a lot, different bodies, different places every week.
Three
Injuries.
homegrown players in that back line.
I'm not going to say it's all injuries.
No.
But that's part of the problem.
Now, we're not making excuses.
I mean, this is particularly bad. That back four at the moment, very makeshift.
Coelho. The interception, Insigne, Bernardeschi, with the two Italians connecting. Add another in Raul Petretta. Bernardeschi, nowhere close.
Not been seeing his usual quality, Bernardeschi. That there was pretty poor.
The temperament was set in that first half when he's playing on a side. Maybe he's not comfortable. You referenced his body language.
Yeah, I think the body language was more about losing again rather than the side he was playing on.
That's fair, but it's compounded, right?
Yeah.
And how do you impact the game when you don't feel you're best suited to?
I can't imagine he was too happy to be on the left, but then again, he's a senior pro that can overrule certain things and say, I need to stay on this side, I would imagine.
He has grown to love the city of Toronto.
Who doesn't? I think we all love this city.
Wonderful place, wonderful people. It was a tough scene to watch, though, with Gomes exiting and carried through the tunnel. So the crowd quelled for a moment. They felt they were building a little bit more in that possession game. They're still in this thing. Down a couple of goals, Campana. Gotta go. Feingold spirals it back. Al-Hassan Yusuf. Heel didn't like the options.
It's good rotation, though.
Yusuf polstered, heel. All good reads. Heel. Off the heel of Spicer. Corner.
I see what you did there.
You've been paying attention. The heat map is presented by IHG. 19 brands, 6,000 destinations. Download the app today. The work of Peyton Miller, who was marking Bernadeschi up that wing for the beginning portions of the first half.
I mean, the thing to notice is he's not as high as he normally is.
Fine gold. Stefanovic heads out. Carlos Heel.
Great ball.
And that ball delivered for Miller, who's frustrated with himself. Peyton Miller feeling he should have had his first MLS goal. Quick foray back the other way. Bernadeschi in Toronto. Big game today for Fofana along that back line for New England. All the center backs working well in unison.
The center backs have done well for New England. Still got a clean sheet at this point.
Continued on. They're the only team in the league this season. They haven't allowed a goal in the first 30 minutes. Only 2 first-half goals allowed this season, 5 in the second half. Vancouver's the team that has the other best joint defensive record. Corbianu, race to get there. Insigne flying in, heads it high.
Well, good to see that there's someone in the box now. Even if he is 5'4" from crosses, does well to get on the end of this. That's making that gamble to the near post. I can imagine the scenario where that is glanced to the far post there. Doesn't quite get the header right.
Lejažević. His team has kept it clean. Hasn't really been threatened with a ton. Campana.
Great recovery from Pacheta there.
Helps out Stefanovic.
Toronto are hanging around in this game.
Spicer. Game of twister with Polster. Al-Hassan Yusuf.
Yeah, really good from him.
Really impressed every time you watch him play. This has been a good game for the resume. Ganago shaves it back. Flores tucking it away for Toronto to the outside. Corbianu dragged down. The Cameroonian forward. He's had plenty of good chances this season. Been in good spots, has the 1 goal. They still feel he can be a pretty dynamic player for them. The New England brass. Some pressure from Campana. It's Kobe Franklin. He waited on that pass. It's around Flores. Campana. His attempt to pivot. Toronto and Sean Johnson snuffing out another build-up for New England. Lofted up.
Well, that's well done.
Down to Insigne from Spicer. Bernadeschi. Over for Corbianu. Beeson holds up well. Corbianu goes back, and Bernadeschi, who hammered that 5 feet of where it needed to be wide of the near stick.
To be fair to Corbianu, he has got to the byline and cut it back many, many times. And we haven't seen Bernadeschi's quality in this second half. And that's another instance of it. He's got to do better there. He wants to slice it with the outside of his left. And he gets it. The contact is too full on. But that is a good opportunity there.
Had that serpentining goal down on Sunday Night Soccer against Inter Miami. That was arguably Toronto's most impressive performance, going down to South Florida and earning the points. Bernardeschi's only other goal came from the spot. That was in the opener at DC. Revs have 2 ready for a change. Coming up on the last quarter hour. Will Sands, twin brother of James, the New York City homegrown, who's now with St. Pauli. Sands was in Columbus, and the return of Tomas Chonkalai, 4th game back since he's been out the last 9 months after that knee injury. And he's a designated player, important piece for this team. Caleb Porter says he's antsy still, but it's more so with the fitness. He's not really worried about where he'll be down the road with his football form.
He's getting up to speed now. He's getting these appearances, just getting his legs going again. But training is the important part. You want to see that he's back to himself in training. He's going to get little 15 minutes here and there.
Oh, Hill is fouled. Flores doesn't agree. That's what he does with great integrity. Davy Flores win the ball. Tomas Chonkalai is going to get a fuller run in the midweek, with things getting a little heated for the moment. Flores not happy with that call. Back to Chonkalai. He's going to play. They hope to play him about 65, 70 minutes. They have an Open Cup game. The Revs are in the Open Cup and playing Rhode Island FC, team that was in the finals of the USL Championship. That's coming up in the midweek.
Yeah, Chonkalai is going to be playing one of those 2 up top spots for New England. I saw an offside there.
Coelho. Industrious game for Coelho. Young Spaniard. Spicer was not able to hold possession, though.
You know, the term patterns of play comes to mind when I think of Toronto, and I'm not seeing familiar patterns between their players. Not enough.
Just over 370 minutes now for New England without allowing a goal. And conversely for Toronto FC, and scoring at home, which is went and creeping up towards 430 minutes. These are long, long spells. Heel, Campana, Chonkalai. Franklin smacks it right back to Beeson. Kobe Franklin. Signe.
Well, if I'm a New England striker, I'll fancy myself trying to get another goal. You're playing against an 18-year-old centre-back in Stefanovic and a right-back in Cozy Thompson. Should be something you could maybe exploit.
Signe runs to get it. Leaves it for Flores. Obianu. Raul Petretta. Is this quick enough for you for Toronto FC? Do they need a little bit more urgency?
Yes, they do. They do need a bit more urgency. And we shouldn't be saying it up here. We should be feeling that. You need 2 goals in 13 minutes.
Corbianu. Franklin. Thompson. New England will play this game all day long, comfortable and where they address their block. Bernardeschi from Insigne. Bernardeschi stumbled in with Fofana coming over. Spicer keeps it alive. Corbianu.
Wow, Brian Ceballos got across really quickly.
The center backs recovered well, but Bernardeschi, and it's blocked. Ceballos, the effort from Spicer. Flair for the dramatic for Toronto, where they sprung to life with that middle run for Bernardeschi.
Well, that's better from Toronto.
They reload again. Spicer. Lorenzo Insigne. Lorenzo Insigne. Always going wide, but it's brought a little life back into the stadium. That
Good
last
to see
little
some
run.
attacks from Toronto. About time. It's better.
This exclusive NetCam replay is presented by T-Mobile.
And good to see that replay again, because that was a big chance for Peyton Miller there. Set up by Carlos Hill. Should have scored.
Revs. Will Sands wins that. Shankali held up by Thompson. Plays it on through for Campana. And Leo Campana.
Oh, what a touch.
Heel on over. Sean Johnson denies. Eli Feingold robbed of his opening goal. The flag does arrive up on the opposite side. With Johnson.
Still
another
great
stop.
Look at this touch from Carlos Hill here. First time he knows where everybody is on the pitch. And that's a great save from Sean Johnson. He's 2-0 down, but it could have been 4 or 5 with some of the saves he's made.
That was Campana coming back into the play after the initial Johnson stop. New England had moments where this could have been 3 or 4 zip at the break. Toronto's hung around. They haven't offered much in the attack. A moment here or there. Usually it's Bernardeschi on the end of it. Corbianu can create. 3 around him. Bernardeschi. You can just tell he's trying his hardest. Maybe too much.
It's not his day, is it? The quality's just not been there from him. He likes those sort of angles.
2 more New England substitutions. Long-standing veteran Brandon Bai, who's seen Eli Feingold for the moment locking down that wing-back position. Bai, a veteran of a lot of success, even going back several years with the Revs, coming on. And Leo Campana with his 2nd New England goal. Gives way for Luca Langoni. So the Ecuadorian will step off, and the Argentine, Caleb Porter. They paid $7 million for Luca Langoni, but Caleb Porter is saying right now he probably feels still a little bit more comfortable in a substitute role than what he would be as a starter. And I'd love him to get to that point in a starting position.
He did say that that's what he played at Boca, and that's what he's used to. So he's coming doing that same role, but he wants him to get back. Wants him to get to be that guy and start in 90-minute games and making a difference. But right now, he's not getting anywhere near the team without the starting lineup is playing.
Look at the back defending Chancalay. Franklin didn't see it. Carlos Hill spreads for Yusuf. Chancalay's there. Overhits it by to race it down. Time of the issue now for Toronto. Beeson overstretched the pass. Chancalay. Lots of running to win it back. Is that a credit to New England? There's Bernardeschi popping up in moments, but the last action hasn't been there for Toronto.
Yeah.
The lack of stress that's been put on the Revs, is that a credit to New England, or is it just the disjointedness of how Toronto's really had their season go so far?
I think it's a credit to New England. I think it's a bit of both, but a bit more to the credit, because look how many bodies they've got back. This isn't easy to break down. Let's not pretend like this is easy to break down.
No.
But they've done their work in the first half, earned the right to go 2-0 up and play like this in the second half. So you would love them to be expansive and have spaces, but they don't have to do that now. They've earned it.
Tyrese Spicer around by Petretta. Heavy touch. Tracked down by Corbianu and Signe.
Will break down 11 men.
Toronto building suspense. Corbianu, good pass through from Flores. Will Sands does well defensively. It was step for step with Theo Corbianu. Will Sands draws the foul.
The other side of it is Toronto aren't going quick when they have the opportunities to go quick anyway. So every time New England are able to get bodies behind the ball. So a bit of both.
The match momentum is presented by Old Spice. New England, those goals and the sea of blue came in a lot of transition in that first half, and then the sustained possession for Toronto in the second half. Those red little hills, nothing to show for it though. It's Bios and Fofana. Rounded by Polster. Steady as they come. Heel fouled. At 5 minutes remaining in the 90. This will knock away a few more seconds. Robin Fraser felt the engagement of his team was becoming much improved. But the results, like the Canadian Championship in their most recent game, is on a ton of disappointment at the beginning of this 2025 season, and it's suddenly becoming much more closer to the middle of the season than the beginning. Luca Langoni, heel. Pardon, it's Chonkalai, and it's right in. Ceballos clipped it over.
There was an offside on the play as well.
Wouldn't have mattered. Line works well for Toronto defensively. But they've got to go.
Did you say gonna go?
Gotta go. Oh. They've got to go.
They've got to go. Yeah, no, you're right. They have got to go quickly at this point.
Way too pedestrian.
I don't know if they have that in their wheelhouse to go quickly. Maybe everything has to. They've worked on it slow and methodical, but you're running out of time. It's those little touches from Carlos Hill every time. He's getting pressed by 3 players, and it's like a little touch in a set, and then someone else has more space to now do something.
This group is in sync, and they have found this pass very often today.
It's not just Carlos Hill in the middle who's played well and received the ball. Yusuf, Polster, same
by Chonkalai. Didn't really have the target he wanted to aim at there. Set for the backdrop. Tomas Chonkalai. Bernardeschi. Soft feet from Petretta. Thompson. What's open right now? The hope to find Spicer. He's got the speed to move around. He's in an offside position receiving that pass.
Man, New England, what a time. The last 3 games they've won, shutout wins. And they're staring at another one potentially. And 2 of those in the past have been away, so it will be 3 in a row. Wins with shutouts. That is really difficult to do back-to-back. Carlos Hill comes on. Well done to him. What great performance again.
It's the fall of 2021, their Supporters Shield winning season, and they had set the then record. They had last won 4 in a row on the road. This would be 3 today. A 4-game win streak last summer. They felt that Caleb Porter, even with a roster that was in transition, they were putting some things together. They had won 5 of 6, but then injuries. Chonkalai got hurt. Heel was hurt for a time. It set them back again. Ended up slipping and ending up 14th in the East. Missed the playoffs 2 of the last 3 years. Revs will continue on this road trip. This is the middle of 3. They'll head to Orlando. That's where things will pick up a notch. 7:30 Eastern. You can watch right here on MLS Season Pass. Ojeda, Pasalic. It's a good Orlando City team who broke out of their scoring slumber of 3 games with a big performance last week. And I think that was also the important quote. Toronto was desperate, Lloyd, coming into this game. But New England, it's not like they're walking amongst the Giants right now in the East. They're still 10th. Yeah. They know they're still fighting for survival. So you're staying in the mix of it. And then when you're a little bit more comfortable, like they've controlled some of the game here today when it's mattered most, that's when they feel they can start to build their contention window. It's good football. They're showing it. And they're doing it in tough places to play on the road.
Well, to your point, they're making up for lost time and maybe some bad results and performances maybe earlier in the season. Some of those home games where they didn't take points.
Added time is presented by Audi. 5 minutes here in the second half. Carlos Hill, Leo Campana, first half goals for New England. And moments away, minutes away from a 4th straight win and a 3rd straight win on the road.
Shutout win.
Shutout win. It's Corbianu. Conversely, Toronto FC, which has gone their last 3 home games without a goal. Could soon be 4. By steps forward, Urruti launching Langoni. Urruti, just a couple of games here in Toronto before he was traded to Portland. Well, he's been a great pressing forward. Now it's just to melt the time away.
Yeah, quite a demoralizing game for Toronto in the end. 91st minute now. They've had some decent moments in the game, but going 2-0 down, I just think the tactics from New England and the way they played, it just set up perfectly for them to go on the counter, get high XG chances, and then the chances you give up but not high XG chances, that's a great recipe. You know, you make it tight on your end and easy on the other end. Great recipe in this game.
This is a great sports town, and their fans are starving for something. They have not had a home win since September of last year. 7 winless in the regular season here at home. This victory came against Austin. Closing in on 8. Franklin. Another great performance from Sean Johnson, despite this situation.
It's not going to be remembered when you lose 2-0. Yeah. You've got to win games to remember those performances.
Will Sands, Al-Hassan Yusuf, Revs play keep away. Almost 2 years to the day. New England last one here in Toronto. Just under 2 minutes left. Franklin, Thompson. These young defenders, now the veteran Petretta. Sprint infield, Spicer. There's always been someone to answer from the center back spot.
Yeah, Ceballos coming into his own.
Fofana's been really good too.
Yeah,
Beeson.
And Beeson. Ivicic has not had to do too much.
No, he's not.
Yeah. I think it's that foundation of those three and then the two in front. Yusuf and Polster just sit in front and stay.
I was commenting on the last home victory, September 14th against Austin of last year. And DeAndre Kerr scoring that game. Without their captain Osorio. I don't think it will be long despite the dislocated shoulder on Wednesday, but still more questions than answers for Toronto FC after what will be the 6th loss in 11 games pending something miraculous.
Still getting the second balls in that middle of the pitch. And Hassan Yusuf, it's late stage in the game.
Ivicic. No heat on him. Final seconds ticking away. Up for Bai. Down for Rudy. Crossover, Ivicic. They had to have a little bit of suspense toward the end with Spicer hanging around on the backside. It will be a Toronto corner, but we'll pass the allotted 5. Last call here for the Reds. And nutted by Flores in the hands of Ivicic. Apropos for the New England Revolution, who have brought a revitalization to their season with a 4th straight win, all by shutout, and their 3rd win in a row on the road. And another takedown of Toronto FC in their home barn by the opposition. 2-0 the final. New England continues to roll. They've won 5 of their last 6. And this is the player of the match. Leo Campana did work defensively, and then it ended with his 2nd goal of the season.
Yeah, he needed a goal today. Continue that form. There was him back in his own box, and here's him in the other box. Devastating on this right foot finish here into the corner. And that was too much for Toronto to recover from. Brilliant performance, especially in that first half from New England. Making it hard to score against, but then going on the other end and generating good chance after good chance. Could have been 3 or 4. Always options when they're passing the ball. This formation works really well for New England right now. Long may it continue.
Leo Campana continues to work his tail off. He told us too he's doing separate workouts after training just to stay fit and put himself in the best place for both his club and country. Carlos Gil.
Is Carlos Gil playing some of the best football right now? He's always playing good football, but lately
it's hard to argue against it. 6 goal contributions in 6 games, a 5th goal of the season, and a fine finish that opened the scoring. Aljaž Ivicic would never call a clean sheet something easy to accomplish, but he didn't see a ton his way.
Oh, it wasn't easy. It was the guys in front of him that got the work done. They shuttled up and down and were diligent, organized.
And you've got 385 shutout minutes for the Revolution. 4 in a row and 3 straight on the road. 2-0 New England over Toronto FC.
You gotta look it up sometime.
Let me see.
Or no, not on.
Did you search cool outfits to wear with shark tooth necklace?
Goldfish have short memories. Be like goldfish.
Brother, it's a statement piece.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, you can explore the neighborhood or live like a local. Unplug for the day or plunge into a long weekend. With IHG's 19 hotel brands, you can guest how you guest.
You ready? MLS is game on. Dolce? On. Stars on.
Kevin Sullivan, the history maker.
30,000 friends? On. Rivalries on.
Versus New York City.
MLS, this is our soccer. Game on.
At RBC Wealth Management, we know you have ideas for your future. Ideas that can have you enjoying the moment or owning the moment. They can bring investment opportunities or opportunities to invest in yourself. Ideas that can have you doing good or feeling great. From following your passion to making your passion work for you. What ideas will you bring to life? Know more with RBC Wealth Management.
Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. Celsius. Live fit.
Playing for an ultra?
We playing for ultras? Brace you for an ultra?
Put an ultra on it. Don't forget, there's ultras on the line. I didn't.
Michelob Ultra. Superior like beer.
Back here at BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario, where the home club and their home fans will wait another week in search of some success. Toronto falls at the hands of New England. An impressive Revolution group who win it 2-0 on the road today. Sika and Sam and our fine crew. These are the match highlights presented by the powerful backing of American Express. Revs have won 3 in a row, looking for 4 straight. Transition a killer, especially in the first half.
Yeah, this feels like a long time ago now. Feingold on that right side, being aggressive, getting a ball in, and Carlos Hill, the man of the moment, wondering if he's playing some of his best football. It definitely feels like he's scoring more than he normally does. And that was a screamer into that top corner. That made it 1-0 early on. And Toronto hadn't been that bad at that point. This is one of their moments. Getting it across that 6 from a corner. But no one's there to put it in. There's Leo Campana getting it out. And this would be Campana getting a goal. He needed a goal today just to continue that form. And even better that it comes on that right foot as well, his weaker foot. That's a real striker's finish there. And you've got to imagine he's looking for double figures or more this season. That's 2 for him. That made it 2-0. New England cruising. There would be more chances. Sean Johnson's actually made some really big saves. Here's one of them. Great save there with the right hand. Could have been a second for Carlos Hill on the rebound. See the right hand. Just knocked that ball away. No one remembers the saves when you don't win, though. Because here's another one. Gonna go. This was actually a great footballing move from the right side. Feingold, good bit of skill. Really, really good from Feingold, defensively and attacking. Into the second half. Carlos Hill, what a great set. And that is a brilliant save for Sean Johnson. I think Feingold does everything right. That's the finish he's looking for. Sean Johnson, at 35 years old, gets down really well.
Full-time stats in this one. Lots of shots both ways. Ivicic makes the 4 saves for the shutout, along with his defense. In a 15-foul game.
Interesting that there's 18 shots each, but better shots for New England.
Leo Campana spoke about his goal and the success afterwards.
Bien, era importante. Muy feliz por el gol, obviamente, pero sabíamos que teníamos que venir acá, sacar los 3 puntos. Venimos una buena racha, hay que seguir. Nuestra mentalidad fue esa, no relajarse, seguir con la mentalidad ganadora que estamos teniendo y bueno, y dar pelea.
Describing the sequence that led to the goal, and of course the great pass from Al-Hassan Yusuf, who picks up the assist. Leo Campana with his 2nd goal in the course of the last 3 matches. And Gardy and the Hawk, they haven't been guarding much when it comes to the opposition. Better defensively, but the opponents have had success coming in here to BMO Field. New England walks out with a 4th straight win here this afternoon. This season is in full swing, and so are the prizes for MLS Pick'em. Make your picks each week for a chance to win big. All you have to do is scan the QR code and play now, right there on the bottom left corner of your screen. Fine goal, the deflection, and Carlos Heel, one of the league's best, and Leo Campana have the Revs singing a new tune with another victory here this afternoon.
At RBC Wealth Management, we know you have ideas for your future. Ideas that can have you taking more time off or putting more time in. They could mean more peace and quiet or more fun and games. Ideas you can drive or that drive you. From settling in to living it up, what ideas will you bring to life? Know more with RBC Wealth Management.
Can we stop for food?
No, hay comida en la casa.
I'm the voice inside your head. And while you're typically athletic, right now, you're pathetic. Rick. But once you start listening to me, it's gonna be hard to stop. Shank. And if you don't have the right auto coverage, the cost of this could hit you out of nowhere. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem, like me.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, you can explore the neighborhood or live like a local. Unplug for the day or plunge into a long weekend. With IHG's 19 hotel brands, you can guest how you guest.
BMO Field, home of Toronto FC since 2007. Future side of the World Cup in 2026. No joy here off the shores of Lake Ontario, though, for the home team. 2-0 New England. 4th straight win for New England. The play of the match is presented by Walmart. Express delivery in as fast as 1 hour. Boy, there have been some great goals from Carlos Heel this season.
Rightly so. This is the play of the match. Could be the play of the week. Honestly, that is a great goal. Very early in the game, Toronto trying to build, and then you get hit with a screamer like that. Man, what a form he's in.
5th of the season. 6 goal contributions in the last 6 games. Here are the New England Revolution's shot chart. Expected goals over 2. 18 shots in this game.
Look at those 2 big chances, those big circles outside the 6-yard box. Those weren't even taken. It was the ones near the edge of the box.
It's a season high. It's a season high, too. This is a team that's next to last in the league coming in shots and shots on goal. Plenty of opportunities today, though. Best players in North America take center stage on July 23rd at 8 p.m. Central. The MLS All-Stars and the Liga MX All-Stars for the 2025 MLS All-Star Game. First professional All-Star game in the Texas State Capitol. And it's broadcast live and exclusively on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Tickets for the MLS All-Star Challenge and the MLS All-Star Skills Challenge. All-Star Game and Skill Challenge presented by AT&T on sale now. MLSsoccer.com/All-Star. Carlos Gil, a 2-time All-Star. Almost had a 2nd goal. Could throw his name in the hat right now for a 3rd appearance. 2021 MVP, leading his team on the way. One more time from Toronto.
All right, so we start with the flower. Smile.
When you're with Amex Gold, you can stack 4 times points on restaurants around the world. So sharing the same taste after all these years, stay sweet. That's the powerful backing of American.
Get it in as fast as an hour with express delivery.
Welcome to your Walmart.
Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. The sweet scent of a honeymoon in Fiji. Moisturize with vitamin B3.
You better not be using all the Old Spice.
Can you get my bag?
Este verano la Leagues Cup regresa más fuerte que nunca. Comenzamos con 36 clubes. En la primera fase, cada equipo jugará contra 3 equipos de la liga rival para determinar su posición en la fase de eliminación directa.
The 4 top-seeded clubs from each league will move on, ensuring interleague matchups all the way through the quarterfinals.
3 naciones, 2 ligas y un solo campeón. En Leagues Cup 2025,
it's dominance on the line.
If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I want is you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I want is you to shade me and be my If you were a wink, I'd be a nod. If you were a seed, well, I'd be a pod. If you were a floor, I'd want to be a rug. And if you were a kiss, I know I'd be a hug.
Sunday Night Soccer tomorrow from the Heartland. Children's Mercy Park. Coverage beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern. MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Carrie Zavagnin is Sporting Kansas City with a couple of wins over the last 4 games. The LA Galaxy, nada. Still winless, along with Montreal, the only winless clubs. Will that change tomorrow night? 2 MLS Aboriginals. Check it out tomorrow. Sunday Night Soccer. Eastern Conference standings. New England rocketing up into 7th currently. There are games to be played, of course, tonight here in match day 11, but now 16 points. They've won 5 games in their last 6 to the tune of 5-4-1. And Toronto FC next to last, 4 points clear of Montreal. That win came on the road at Salt Lake. They're winless in 5 here at BMO. Pushing towards 500 minutes without a goal here at home. For other scores, highlights, and the latest news from around MLS, check out the Sports tab of the Apple News app. Countdown is going on right now. Check it out. Get you ready for match day 11. Dan Gladman, Jeff Mather led our great crew here today. Lloyd Sam, I'm Neil Sika. New England keeps it rolling. 4 in a row for the Revs. They win it 2-0. Lloyd Sam, I'm Neil Sika. We stay so long from Toronto.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer. Bye.